said, well, yeah, so what, well, back then you're into all these nitty-gritty things, and into these molecular science. I didn't think very much in the global sense, except when I realized that they would take someone's license away for advising his patients to take vitamin C. I was pretty distraught. And then I met another fellow. His name is Dr. Owen Swartz. Dr. Swartz was actually a professor. Can you imagine, a professor in McGill University Medical School? And he was basically told by the disciplinary board by the medical board to go back for further education. And the reason why was he was one of the first advocates of patients not using synthetic thyroid medication and use natural thyroid medication. Can you believe? This guy was discredited so badly that even today he cannot practice as a medical doctor. He's totally ostracized. He's just writing books. All right. So, anyways, I was pretty disheartened, and then I talked to Paul. I said, Paul, what am I supposed to do? Go back to China or what? So it's amazing. Paul said, there's this profession called naturopathic medicine. Why don't you try it? So just like due diligence as a researcher, I did all my homework. I look into the law. I look into what it meant to be a naturopathic doctor in the province of British Columbia, where I was at. I'm still practicing in BC, in fact, today. And I took the law. I said, this is a piece of what? It's ridiculous. The law was so antiquated. And I started visiting all of these so-called naturopathic doctors in town. And the first, some of the guys that I look at, they were doing something really funny, what they call Vega testing. I said, what? You can do what with this? This is amazing. And actually there was even one guy who was just writing the word for the homeopathic medicine, stick it into a slot and put obviously a tube of water in front of the little contraption. Push a button and red light went off. He would say, this is your medicine for the patient. I said, wow, this is amazing. I said, I don't know about this. Wait a minute here. So, in fact, what I did was I did some more checking and realized, yes, there's this whole field of biological medicine that one can do. And I can probably utilize some of my know-how in maybe molecular genetics or molecular science somehow in this whole mess. Even though poor Dr. Kleiner really wanted me to become a good internist. He said, Jim, you might have what it takes, it's just going to take a little bit of guts, because he was trained in the old Vienna school. Back then he talked about putting patients on a little bit of multiple vitamins as an internist. He talked about personality of diseases, he can tell the difference between Crohn's disease patient and an ulcerative colitis patient from how they feel by asking certain key questions, which I found was absolutely fascinating, and they were all confirmed by the scoping, and he was a great teacher, just absolutely incredible. So I took this piece of law and I said, gee, I better talk to a few more friends to see what this is all about. Something when some of my lawyer friends look at this and said, Jimmy, this is incredible. This law basically gives you an open field. And that's why the profession is that way, because it's open, it's up for grabs, you can do anything you want. That's why it's not recognized, even though it's licensed by a provincial law, by a provincial act. Yet it's not recognized by anybody, simply because according to this law you can do anything you want except surgery and anesthesia, and it's precisely what is said in the law. Is we're licensed as physicians in the province of BC. We're licensed to diagnose and to treat with natural preparations and medicines and substances and administer them too. That's the amazing thing. And the only thing we're not allowed to do is to do surgery and apply anesthetics. I said, fine, I don't mind at all. So I put my foot down finally, and enroll into Bastille. Right now it's called Bastille University. Back then it was the John Bastille College of Naturopathic Medicine. When after I went in, I kind of look at the teacher and say, "Are you sure you know what you're teaching?" Almost. Actually, sadly, I challenged him. I gave him such a bad time, which is absolutely incredible. So I basically challenged a lot of the courses, and I crashed through a 4-year program in 2.5 years. And at first, my mandate was, gee, I'm not going to listen to these yo-yos. I'm just going to get my license, and I'm going to do my thing. So basically, and I guess it turned out to be almost what I wanted.